Hello. I hope you are feeling as good as you can be. This is a book report episode and it is about people. So, full disclosure, as an autistic man who struggles in social settings, people are a complicated and interesting subject to me personally. Humans adapt to a lot, and what passes for normal changes depending on who you're with and where you are. The code of conduct and humor inside a warehouse is different from inside an office. In modern cities, we eat food that's already been killed and prepared. We use indoor plumbing, electricity, and take pharmaceutical drugs. Some people argue that we need these things to survive, but tribes in Africa and the Amazon survive and have survived thousands of years to the contrary. In my efforts to understand the people around me, I've collected a lot of books on decoding human beings. I'm going to recommend some of those books. Sex at Dawn by Chris Ryan and Cathilda Jatha is a book on human nature and what Western industrial society tells us about it and how it got to those conclusions. It counters the standard narrative we have about sex, monogamy, war, jealousy, and a variety of other topics, while showcasing different scientific studies, history, and cultures around the world, and being very information dense. It's still really entertaining. It's a fun book, and the very first book I thought of when deciding on this topic. Next is a classic. It is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It follows the horrific experiences of a psychologist in one of the worst concentration camps during the Holocaust, showcasing the ugly and beautiful sides of humanity. There are compassionate Nazi guards who help keep people alive with medicine and food, and there are Jewish inmates who mercilessly kill and rob from their peers. Next book is Five Types of People Who Can Ruin Your Life by Bill Eddy. It's a book about narcissists, sociopaths, and other high conflict personality disorders. It explains psychologically and with a lot of empathy how and why these types of people can't help themselves, while it provides strategies on how to safely distance yourself from them. The next book is The Righteous Mind: Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion by Jonathan Haidt. The book's about natural morals that people have and our innate reactions that we can't explain. It's about how we trust our intuitions first and we look for evidence to rationally confirm why we have those intuitions afterwards, and we ignore any facts that'll disprove them. Because we don't want the truth, we want our tribe to be right, and more importantly, we want to be seen as right, and we want to be seen as heroes, victorious over the evil enemy. Speaking of tribes, the book Tribe by Sebastian Junger, who's a war journalist and author, is about that human desire we all have to belong. Fun fact, the average person is able to remember around 150 names to faces in their minds, and anthropologists believe that's because that was the average size of a tribe of humans pre-agriculture. Because, as the book's title suggests, that is our natural state. Together, in close quarters, watching each other's backs. A tribe. That message is stitched together with a lot of interesting stories and psychological studies. It's a short book, but it feels very dense. Alrighty, the last book on my list here is Deep Survival: Who Lives, Who Dies, and Why by Lawrence Gonzalez. As the title suggests, it's filled with crazy stories of human beings surviving god-awful situations and those that did not survive. Then with psychology and biology, it picks them apart. I think there's a lot of interesting insights about our nature, like the fight or flight responses that people get, and why people who are normally very rule-oriented and structured don't do as well in survival situations that require adaptations to these new scenarios. To quote Khan from the Star Trek series, "You can't even break a rule. How could you be expected to break bone?" There's a lot about people that can't be put into words because a lot of communication is nonverbal. Words are almost always rough ideas of what we mean to say. Love is probably a good example here. I love chili fries isn't the same as I love you, but I can use it both ways and you'd understand me. In American Sign Language, a lot of words are signed the exact same way, and the only way to tell them apart is facial expressions and context clues. When a less articulate friend can't get their point across, we meet them halfway with our own words to form some kind of mutual understanding. All of this is just to say that people and communication are complicated. But for the sake of love and humanity, they are well worth the effort. And I think these books are wonderful tools for anyone trying to put in that effort. I will end with a quote from a musician that I'm fond of named Brother Ali. "Can you tell me what language do you laugh in? The human reaction of smiles and cries. What language are the tears when they're falling from your eyes?" Thank you for listening. I really appreciate that, and I hope the rest of your day or night goes smooth. Thanks again.